Hello, my name is Mike, and this is a bike. In this episode, I'm going to try to do something I've never done before. I'm going to attempt to cobble together some kind of an exhaust system for this dual sport adventure bike conversion that I've been working on in previous episodes. I need to get the exhaust up off the ground and bring it around to one side of the bike. Now, having had no experience with that, well, there's a good chance I'm going to injure myself. I have all the tools I need, I think. I've got a chop saw. I've got a cutoff wheel. I have the cheapest wire welder you can get on eBay, so I can, blow holes in the metal as I go. And of course, more important than anything else is I've got a wide array of bandages and gauze and burn ointment and all that when the inevitable occurs and I get lots of metal shavings in my eyes and I start excreting bodily fluids like blood all over my project. It's pretty inevitable. So stick around and watch the gore. Of course, I didn't bother to take any measurements. I didn't calculate any angles or anything like that. I just ordered a bunch of elbows and collectors and so forth on eBay. Cheapest ones listed. So the goal here is to try to cobble this together with the minimum number of metal shavings in the eye and the minimal loss of bodily fluids such as blood. So stick around.
Somewhere in a dusty, dirty back alley in western Arizona, not far from historic Route 66, is an old fart trying to cram a square peg into a round hole. He'll work on anything, just as long as it's got at least 2 cool wheels.
Precisely the kind of welds you can expect from me. Plenty of holes blown through stuff, boogers kind of barely holding shit together. That's the best I can do, guys. I'm not a welder. What made it particularly difficult is that this section here of the original pipe is actually 2 layers. There's an inner surface and there's the chrome outer surface that is, as you can see, spot welded there. So not sure how well any of this is going to hold together. But what I'll probably do is once I get the whole thing kind of cobbled together, I'll take it off, I'll take it into an actual muffler shop and see if they can't, like, you know, weld it. Alright, it's time to take a little trip into town and to get some of this stuff actually welded the proper way. And then, you know, we'll bring it back and retest fit it. So, I went for a little drive, took a ride up Route 66 to a nearby exhaust system and muffler shop. I figured, you know, an exhaust system shop, they'd be the guys to go to get the welding done. When I arrived at the welding shop, well, the proprietor, he took a look at my welds and turned kind of a pale green color. Put his hand over his mouth and kind of gagged a little bit. I think he threw up in his mouth a little bit. And then he told me, well, I'm booked solid for the next 4.5 years. Come back then and maybe we can do something with it. He did recommend a fab shop right around the corner. Yeah, I think these guys know how to weld. Now, as you can tell, my only skill is booger welding, and I'm not even very good at that, so...
Might not be able to weld that. Oh, that's what is that, chrome?
Well, yes. Cole at Free Day Racing was able to weld my exhaust up. He did an excellent job, knocked it out in about an hour or so. I'm really happy with the work that he did. If you guys need any custom fabrication, off-road vehicle frames made, things of that nature, these guys do a bang-up job. Well, I got the head pipes back from the welding shop. Man, they look good. So that's what real welds look like. It's a good thing the guy didn't vomit after seeing my work. And I also picked up some clamps I think will work so that I can clamp the Y pipe to the header pipes. And then once I get it all mocked up, the guy was kind enough to give me a section of 1 3/4 pipe, and then we'll put a muffler on the other end when it arrives, because, you know, cheapest one on eBay. And then I'll go back to the weld shop, we'll finish up the final weld, and we will have a completed exhaust system. Now I do want to put some pipe wrap around it to, you know, minimize the heat transfer to the rest of the engine and of course to my legs. But before I can figure out where that last section of exhaust pipe needs to go, I need to do a couple of things. One of those things is I got to wait until the muffler arrives. But then we're going to do one more thing to this. In order for this to be an adventure bike, I need a little cargo capacity. I'm going to add these fine saddlebags to this project. Yeah, hammer boxes. Yeah, cheapest ones on eBay. So before I can mount my exhaust, I got to kind of figure out where these guys are going to go. So what I think I'll do is get a longer stud for this shock mount here. And just, you know, punch a hole in this and mount it there. And then I've got an opening back here where the turn signals used to go, and that'll mount the other side, and I'll have a saddlebag. Now I also mentioned that our extremely high quality headlight stopped working in this wrong part, this little fairing here. So rather than to return it and wait for all that shipping, I waited for some other shipping, and I got this. This is a much better, brighter light. And so, well, it's a little bit bigger, but I'm pretty sure I can adapt it to work. So I'm going to use the wrong part to fix the wrong part. Don't two wrongs make a right? Anyway, so those things will keep me busy until my muffler arrives. Once it arrives, we can cut that last section of pipe, take it back to the fab shop, get it welded, put the muffler on it. By then the saddlebags theoretically will be in place, and we will have a complete adventure bike. So here's what I ended up doing. In order to clear the brackets on this little fairing, I had to notch the ends of the new lamp. So I've notched it here, I've notched it here, because it just barely fits in here. And then I clipped out a little piece. I snipped this out because it was blocking the lamp. And here we have a usable headlamp. Yeah. And there we have it. There's low beam. Flip the switch here. There's high beam. And of course my turn signals. Right. Left. So in this particular case, 2 wrongs do make a right. And now we have functional saddlebags in there. Oh, and they're nice and solid. Really worked out well. Real simple L bracket at the front. And then I just put a large bolt with a spacer going into the mount where the old turn signals used to go. And those 3 points of contact are sufficient. It's very, very solid. I don't have to worry about them falling off and getting tangled up in the vehicle behind me on the trail. Which also means that now I can determine the precise angle my exhaust pipe has to be at when I go to tack weld it, and then we'll get a muffler here. I'll be able to determine how long or short it needs to be. The muffler will probably wind up right underneath that saddlebag there. We'll get this pipe in a little bit of a downward angle to avoid this, and then we'll anchor it probably to the same point here, and we'll have an exhaust system. But that's still a few days out. You know, the parts trickle in, so the video takes forever to make. Day here, day there. We're getting there. Finally, the last part has arrived to be able to complete the exhaust system on this project bike. I know many of you are very glad to see this project end. It's taken a while. Anyway, all we need to do now is, take a few super precise eyeball measurements, and then take the pieces over to the fab shop and get them welded properly, and we'll be all done. We'll take it out for a little spin and make sure that it works off-road as well as, well, we hope it will. she's all done. Our custom exhaust is now complete. Let me show you what we've got. First of all, the cut and butchered pipes that were welded by professional welders have now been wrapped so that they will minimize the chance of melting wiring or melting the fender, things like that. Did the same thing for the other side. And you'll notice they're two different colors. Well, that's because I didn't quite have enough of the beige, but I had plenty of black. I didn't realize it until after I'd already wrapped this one with beige, so you know, it makes it more diverse, more colorful. I did a quick and dirty heat shield here for it. Let me pop this off. So I did not weld the collector on purpose because I want to be able to take the exhaust off when I need to. So I've just got clamps holding the collector. Then I did have this portion welded, and we now have a muffler, and we have a bracket hanging off of here to support the muffler. And what I would really love to do right now, guys, is fire this up for you so you can hear the wonderful exhaust note when this thing is running. Unfortunately, for some reason, I went to start it and I have no spark. So unfortunately, that's going to have to do it for this episode. I really did want to include a little bit of video of me hot rodding this thing around in the dirt. But unfortunately, I now have to try and troubleshoot whatever happened to my spark. I got no sparkly. It was running fine the other day. The only thing I could figure is when I was messing with the exhaust, one of these wires got kind of hot. Might have melted it, overheated it. I don't know. And this video has taken forever to put together. Days and days and weeks. And so we're just going to end it there. I know you're disappointed. You wanted to see me hurt myself on it. Unfortunately, wait for another video. I will go out and hurt myself on this, and I'll capture it on video. There's more videos to come. I've got another project over here I've kind of dug into a little bit, and you guys probably saw a short on that. We'll have this thing up and running pretty soon. And I've got another Victory Crossroads over here that I picked up very, very cheap. So more videos to come. Don't dishearten. I will get injured. There will be bikes on the road that weren't previously. So thanks for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share with all your friends and enemies. And we'll see you in the next video. Ignition modules for a 40-year-old motorcycle are how much? Oh.